Hi, I'm Dr. Pilet. This is
Carrie Pilet.
And today we're going to be talking about the permanency of parental roles through that process of divorce.
That's right.
And we're going to work you through these ideas that as you share in the parenting of your children, even though that family is no longer a unit.
Right. Not the way you know it. It's not the same unit that it was. And that's where we want to talk to you about this idea of parenting and what families are. Because families survive, and we have to continue our role as a parent to the children that we have.
So during the divorce process, it's interesting, Carrie, and a lot of folks aren't aware that right now in Hillsborough County, if you were to go through a conflicted divorce where you're going through the notion of the family court system, it takes sometimes up to 2 years to get through that process of the settlement of the property and the child custody issues. But your role as a father is for life.
And your role as a mother is for life.
And you may be parting from that idea of a husband or from that role of a wife.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea that you will always be present in some parental role as you go through this shared parenting. That's what the emphasis is for tonight.
Right.
Now, I'm going to start off by giving you a little bit of a definition, and I think it's important that we do that.
Right.
Because, we've worked with a lot of families over the years, and we've learned to have a goal, and that goal is, of course, for there to be an emotionally healthy family. So let me give you this definition Carrie and I have put together.
Listen closely.
Okay. An emotionally healthy family is any family that problem solves well enough that allows each member of the family to meet their goals or potential.
Right.
Now, I understand that's a lot of words.
Why don't you say it again?
An emotionally healthy family, any family that problem solves sufficiently well enough that allows for each member of the family to meet their goals or potential.
Right.
Now, let me help give you a contrast to what an emotionally unhealthy family is. We've experienced in our practice where we've had a substance abusing, addicted partner. And I'll pick on men because I do the men's group.
Okay.
But I'll have a guy that is very caught up in alcoholism or some other substance of choice. Mm-hmm. And he is so addicted into that chemical imbalance that he has forfeited his ability to be a role of father. He is not present in the role of father.
Right. So he isn't meeting his potential. He isn't meeting his potential as a father.
But
because he's not involved, he is not part of helping his children or the family unit to meet the potential that each member has or the potential of the family.
So those children are raised in a fatherless family.
Right.
Because the dominant member, the healthy person, is the wife who is there trying to compensate.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be chemicals. It can be, in fact, something as easy as workaholism.
Right.
We've had many men that are so consumed in their practice to make a profit, to make a mission, to develop this idea of this company, corporation, self-employment, that they become so involved in their business dealings that they lose the capacity to talk about, think about, participate in anything other than their business and their goals of their work.
That's right. They have trouble getting away on vacation, and when they do, they're bringing their work with them. We have all this technology, the 4G phones and the iPads and the laptops and Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I mean, it's truly hard to get away from life these days.
In fact, Carrie and I spent a week. We had sort of a speaking tour that we were involved in last week, and I remember sitting with a couple when it was a little bit of an area that we could relax, and the wife was saying how difficult it was for her husband to transition to this reduced pace, because he just didn't want to be away from work. And that's a wonderful example of what we're trying to talk about. So let me go ahead and repeat that. Emotionally healthy family, any family that problem solves well enough that allows each member of the family to meet their goals or potential.
Right.
Now, when we look at parenting styles, we have tend to noted that there's three pretty much dominant styles that we see, and it's not defined. You're going to start off with the far left, if you will, which are rule-regulated parents, and we call them autocratic families.
Rule-regulated.
Rule-regulated. They're rigid. They're intolerant of anything that deters from the guidelines we've set up for the household, and they can become very aggressive. They can become very punitive, very punishing.
Right.
And as you venture far to the other end of this continuum, we have permissive families. And permissive families are so flexible and so uninvolved with the children that sometimes, you begin to wonder if there's a parent present at all in the family system because you don't witness the father or the mother being actively involved.
Right.
Towards the middle of these two extremes is what we call the democratic family. Now, please, let me help you understand this. All children, infants 2, 4, 5, 6, need to have a very structured environment, and we might call that a rule-regulated family because mom and dad's job is to make sure there's a self-secure environment for those children to be raised in.
So if you bring that to our definition of an emotionally healthy family, again, it's dependent upon the age of the children. But for young children, the emotionally healthy family is in order to problem solve, to keep the kids safe, to keep the kids fed, to keep the kids growing and developing at what they should be doing. There has to be structure introduced, and that requires that there be rules and that there be guidelines. And so you tend to see in emotionally healthy families there is this kind of rigidity and regulation as children are young.
Now, last week we talked about stages of development. And so as we went through the idea of 0 to 18 months and 18 months to 3 years, and we went through those developmental stages, we were always showing that there were tasks for the children to master at each developmental stage.
Right.
As you look at the child getting through 6 to 9, which is a developmental stage, 9 to 13, again, each of those tasks are to some degree a demand for the child to be independent in their thought, independent in their maturity.
Right.
So you're always working as a parent to be democratic. Democratic means that I'm working with you as you get older to give you permission to try these ideas, to execute some of this in your life. And as you prove to me that you're capable of being responsible, then I'm easing up on you.
Right. Okay. And so as the kids get older, going back to that definition, in emotionally healthy families, when kids are 6 to 12, we as parents are giving them the opportunities to make decisions, yes or no, I do want, I don't want, I will go, I won't go, as is safe and appropriate for the child at that age.
Absolutely.
And so there's that problem solving that's got to go on. And the parents have to be on top of it. The parents have to see what's going on and set it up so that I am giving my children the opportunity to problem solve in safe ways for them.
We would like to see, as your children are in fact getting into their teens and later in life as they launch and they pursue their own families, that they always trust and have some respect for the wisdom of their parents. And they may be, again, the idea of democratic is that I might contact dad, those people that are my mentors, and ask them for their input as I make decisions in life.
Right.
But one thing is different, though. Once they leave home, the decisions are theirs. However, during those last years, especially the stage 6 development, which is the teen years, you're always working with your child to sort of say, well, what do you think is a good idea as you work through this? And then they give you those suggestions, but you always have veto power.
Right.
It's never so democratic that you can be overruled as long as the children are living in your household and you're establishing a safe, secure environment. But it's important that you understand that as we look at parenting styles, far left is the rule-regulated, far right is the permissive, and then in the middle would be the democratic.
The idea of democratic, which is where healthy lies.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the differences in parenting styles, and if you will, I think it's important for those people